Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Thursday night's edition of the North Bank Summit, featuring your one and only Jon from Matthew Brooks. I hope you're all very fine and dandy. I've got four superstars to discuss what has, well, quite simply been an absolutely wonderful week in Arsenal world. Let's start with George. How you doing, pal?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate.
Your voice is knackered. Yeah, my voice sounded that on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it's kind of calmed down. It was like the husky, sexy voice brigade we got going on.
Exactly. Like it was getting better, and then I done the wrestling podcast last night, and then it's all over the place. Then I've got to go to Stamford Bridge for the women tomorrow, so God knows how I'm doing that.
Oh Lord! At least Arsenal haven't now. Well, the men haven't got a game for 18 days. Is that ridiculous? So hopefully you can rest and not get out to any wild shenanigans.
Yeah.
Mark, how you doing, mate? Lovely to have you back on again.
Yeah, good. Yeah, as you said, very positive week for us this week. So delighted to be on to discuss all those good things that we've had over the last 4 or 5 nights.
It's going to be a very, very happy show. It's just lovely. And Bez, an absolute treat to have you making your debut on this show. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Thank you, Ben. Top of the world, but trying to stay calm with it one game at a time.
Yeah, it's difficult. We'll get to that. And last but not least, the main man himself who got me a ticket on Saturday night. There he is, Ian Superstar Jenkinson. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, my good man. Good to see you all. And it was great to meet you guys as well for the first time on Saturday. I got to meet Georgie and yourself, Brooksy. So, yeah, it's been a great week.
It's been absolutely superb. I mean, you hope, you have the things in your head, it's going to go all right. And it has. So let's crack on with obviously Saturday night, 5:30, Brentford at home. I think we're all fairly confident after smashing goals past everyone left, right and centre. Back of your mind, you're thinking, but then 90% of it's thinking, we're going to smash them. So first half starts, Declan Rice scores. Think, this is going well. Done right, half time's coming, lovely. And then, I can't ever imagine a stadium going as well. It was just weird. Ian, you were there as well. I don't know if you were, Bez. I'm not sure. But it was just a weird, stunned silence when Aaron Ramsdale, God bless his soul, waited about 3 hours for the ball to come to him. And Johan Wissa did very, very well. Credit where credit's due, chasing down, and the ball went in the back of the net on the stroke of half time. And it was a shock, wasn't it, Ian? I mean, I said about, oh my God, I had my head in the hands. I wanted to cry at one point. Everyone was like, oh no.
Yeah. What was striking in the stadium was usually when a mistake like that is made, you get a kind of a cacophony of or like people shouting and giving out. But it was weird. There was literally, as you said, Brooksy, literally silence. You could hear a pin drop. Nobody could believe what had happened, and nobody wanted to get on Ramsdale's back because he was only just back for that game. And we all love Aaron Ramsdale as well, but it was a very, very weird situation. Usually, a big mistake, either the crowd go crazy at the person who's made it, or you hear ahs and people giving out. But there was silence. It was very strange.
Yeah, it was absolutely dreadful. I mean, I don't know what you thought, Bez, but second half he made some excellent saves, but you can, and obviously what David Raya did the other night as well, you can now see, I mean, I was always a Ramsdale fan, I'm not going to lie. I like Raya, but I didn't really have that, connection or bond. Really, he's obviously still fairly new, and now I think, David Raya fan club, but he's going to be number one now, isn't he? I think Ramsdale, bless him, you do wonder what's going to happen to him now.
Look, personally, I love Ramsdale too. The affection I have with him is wonderful. He loves the fans. He loves the team as well. He's an Arsenal fan. David Raya, I think, took some time to settle down, as we know, because of his antics against us, when he plays for Brentford, the time waste he needs to do. I was there at the Brentford game, as I mentioned in previous podcast last year. So again, even for me, it took me some time to adjust, to accept that Raya now is part of our team, because sadly, of his previous antics. Now, thankfully, he justified why we love him on Tuesday, thankfully. I mean, we can't blame Ramsdale for the mistake on Saturday. That's gone now. But everything else is just wonderful to see. We kept our head down and we won both games pretty well.
And then obviously going into the second half, Mark, obviously the longer and longer it went on, obviously Ramsdale did atone for his errors, mean, he made 2 fabulous saves. That one, that outrageous effort from Ivan Toney in the second half. I mean, me and Ian are right to the corner of that goal. And, oh, God, I mean, I thought it was going in. And obviously, I can't remember who it was, had the header and he tipped it over the bar. Yeah, that's right. Yes. And, but yeah, he redeemed himself, I think.
Yeah, 2 blinding saves, definitely. And it's one of those, I don't think Aaron Ramsdale's shot stopping has ever been in question. I think we've all appreciated that he's an excellent shot stopper. It's just the other side of the games, in terms of just the basics of goalkeeping, where Raya just not edges him anymore. I think he's kind of well ahead of him. But yeah, as you said, Rams, and I was happy with him happy for him, because I think if that match had finished 1-1, that's probably his last performance for Arsenal, more than likely. For her to be remembered for that mistake wouldn't be fair on him, because he's been a huge part of the evolvement of Arsenal under Arteta, and how we've got to where we are now from where we were 2 or 3 seasons ago. So for him to be remembered for that big mistake wouldn't have been fair. But yeah, Raya is there's a gap, definitely.
And obviously, no, definitely. And obviously, minutes ticking down, had a few chances. Rice hit the bar and a couple of near misses, a few things cleared off the line. And George, you're thinking, oh, God, we're going to drop points. Is this going to be the night it all goes a bit tits up, if you will? And Ben White, second assist of the evening. I mean, we'll talk more on him later, because obviously there's quite a bit to come out from him today. Little cross in, and Havertz gets in there. 2-1 to the Arsenal. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah, mate. Obviously, as some people know, I'm a bit of a fan of Kai Havertz. Yeah, it was nice to shut a few people up again. But yeah, I was, when it went to 1-1, I was like, oh God, here we go. I was confident we'd beat Brentford, but I wasn't confident we were going to go and smash them, because I just think they're not that sort of team, Brentford. They roll over for everyone else apart from us, I think. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, putting it bluntly, what else can Kai Havertz do? He's in those positions. He's there to score them important goals, and he's done it. So yeah, and I thought Ben White had another good game again. Like you say, we'll come to him later, but I think he's so underrated recently.
No, he's been superb all season, really. I mean, you did wonder, Ian, where the goal was going to come from. I mean, we weren't really at our fluent best. I mean, you could say that for both the games, to be fair, this week. But we're getting the wins, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the most impressive things about this Arsenal team now is that we can win 5 and 6-0, but when it comes down to a sticky game like the last 2 that we've had, that we can mix it up, that we're able to go toe to toe with the time wasters and the divers and all that. That we have the tools now to be able to match up to any style of football that the teams play against us. And yeah, you did wonder for a while, excuse me, whether the goal was going to come. I had a feeling it was going to come, but obviously that's just me being a silly Arsenal fan. But I just thought that we deserved it. And yeah, I was just so happy. And when the goal went in, I had another Reece Nelson moment. Well, the whole stadium did. Everybody just went absolutely crazy, because obviously what was at stake was, with Liverpool and City playing the following day, it was an absolute must win. So it was very important to get that second goal.
And the second half seemed to fly by as well. That time, I think it was like 76 minutes. I'm like, where the hell's the second half gone? And you get more and more tense. And when he scored, I mean, the amount of, it was loud in the ground, obviously, and you're kind of lost in the moment. But it's only when I've seen the videos back to back and the noise, like the second goal, the proper noise. It's absolutely brilliant at the moment, and just a relief. And obviously afterwards, I was so pleased because some of the players and subs come up to Ramsdale, and everyone's giving us a big hug, and that was great. And obviously, Shakira playing a little tune, and the whole stadium was absolutely bouncing. It was brilliant. And like I said, with the Liverpool-Man City game, which we might as well talk about quickly, I mean, that was probably the perfect result for us, Mark, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, completely agree. Draw was perfect. I don't think we could have asked for any more from last weekend. We win ourselves. Both the other 2 teams drop points. I don't think we could have asked for any more. Yeah, absolutely. As you said, Brooks, the perfect weekend for Arsenal last weekend. And now we've a couple of weeks off to savour that until we play again on
that's
Easter
it.
Sunday. So
Yeah, that's it. Oh, God, yeah. We can relax for a few weeks, can't we, Bez, and chill out. And then it's just a small matter of Man City away. I've seen they've already started their mind games. Ederson's out for 4 weeks, and De Bruyne's out the international break. Do you think it will be... Well, sadly, we're too much of a classy club. But I don't think we're going to be calling out people like Saka and Rice out of the England squad, are we? Even though that would be wonderful. You do worry. That's the only concern, obviously, with international break coming up. What could happen?
I'm not going to lie to you. Look, I'm not here to attack Gareth Southgate, but please, for the life of me, don't play both of them in the same games, because Brazil will give both Saka and Rice a tough game, because you know how Brazil are.
I didn't even know we were playing Brazil. This is every day's a school day. Didn't know. Didn't have a clue.
No, I've kept up. I know I'm not going to have kept up. Thing is, Brazil and Belgium. That's what I'm saying to you. We can't have them both playing the same game. And if we play, sorry to cut you off. Carry on.
No, go on. That's quite good. I didn't know we played either of them.
Yeah. So
I'm
thinking, please don't play them both the same game. But also we got Belgium, which are tough as well.
Sadly, Gareth Southgate, I mean, he does seem to have a funny little thing about Arsenal. I don't know if there's anyone else. There's always been something there. I don't think we ever did anything bad to him as a player. But we might as well sort of talk about it now. Obviously, 2 bits of news regarding Ben White today. Great news, he signed a new long-year deal, which I believe is till 2028 with a possibility of an extension to 2029. George, great news and thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it. It's about time we actually get our young, great players like tied up to contracts, like obviously Saliba, Saka. So I was really happy with Ben White. Like, let's be honest, he's probably been one of our better players this season, and for 50 million, for me, that's an absolute bargain, especially when you see what some of the prices the players are going for, like recently. Like, look at Caicedo for 100 million.
It's crazy, and that's a good point, George, because obviously we've thrown away silly money in the past and terminated contracts, blah, blah, blah. But recently, our transfer businesses, that's been absolutely superb. I mean, like I said, Ben White, 50 million, Odegaard, 30 million, even Havertz at 60 million. He's look at the amounts of goals and assists and everything that he's doing. I mean, even Declan Rice for 105 million is an absolute bargain. It's crazy. Every signing has been absolutely on point recently. And like I said, they're signing everyone down. It's a very exciting time to be at Arsenal. You can just see, I know it's easy when you're winning, but just the team spirit and the camaraderie amongst everybody, everyone wants to be there. And the good thing is, when they do go on the international break, surely people are going to come up to, Saka and Rice going, oh, you're not doing well. That's great. What's the atmosphere like? I don't think that's what me head in English players that want to come. But Ollie Watkins, technically, they could get to work on him because he's an Arsenal fan. He'll be buzzing, really. So it'll be interesting. And the other news about Ben White, obviously, England related. I can't swear. It's just sadly, I'm absolutely disgusted. But I think Gareth Southgate has thrown him under the bus by coming out publicly and announcing that Edu phoned him apparently and said Ben White didn't want to be picked for England. Didn't discuss, because obviously there was a fallout at the World Cup, if you will remember, that he left during the tournament. And there was horrible rumours going around that he had a death in the family. And oh no, but nothing ever come out, which to me, Ian, still very strange because. How are you feeling this morning, Ian?
Well, I tell you, that's my cousin Sinead, and she's referring to a song I wrote for Bukayo Saka that I don't think will ever get the airtime now because he sang his song last night. So I think the original song is going to stick. But I did write a catchy little chant for Bukayo Saka. Maybe later on.
Feel free to get it out.
Okay, Sinead, this one's for you, right? I woke up this morning feeling fine. I got Bukayo Saka on my mind. He plays for the Arsenal just like he should. Oh yeah. Something tells me Saka is really good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there you go.
Excellent stuff. Cool of us.
Irish Pop Idol winner. Here we go. Who needs Ronan Keating? Go on.
Thanks for that, Sinead. I'll get you for that.
That's amazing. I might as well end the show now. I'm going to get it better than that.
That's it.
2024.
We're off.
Yeah, go on. That's completely thrown me now.
Ben White. We were talking about Ben White.
Oh, but yes. So obviously,
And Gareth Southgate.
Obviously, we never knew what actually happened. And for him to come out and say that, and Gareth Southgate giving it the old, the door's always open. I would have picked him. Would he? Duck. Yeah, I mean, because he's been playing well.
The door's been closed for a long time.
He's been playing well for a long time, and he's had numerous chances to pick him. And now I just think, and you can only see the cretins on Twitter. I mean, Liverpool fans mainly, but just ripping into him, and that's the worry. That's the good thing about having a break now, because people might have forgotten about it in a few weeks. Because now, sadly, to some people, he'll be public enemy number one, and get a lot of unnecessary. And I know he's got a lot of abuse. I mean, I know he won't care, by the way, because he doesn't care. He plays his football and gets some of it, so it won't bother him.
It was very, very, very unprofessional of Southgate to do that. That kind of stuff is supposed to stay internal. And if, literally, that could impact our season. Ben White is now going to be booed at every away ground that he goes to now, because he doesn't want to play for England. And we don't even know if that's the truth. I know, Southgate wouldn't lie, but that's an incredibly poor thing to do on his behalf. And I've lost a huge amount of respect for Southgate. I never had a huge amount for him, to be fair, anyway. But I lost what little bit I had from him. That was completely out of order, him coming out and saying that.
I think Mikel Arteta will be absolutely fuming, won't he, George? I mean, he won't air it publicly, but it'll be interesting to see if he gets asked about it in his next few press conferences, whether he'll say anything. Because, like I said, it's very unprofessional, and he's completely chucked him under the bus.
Yeah. If we saw, apparently Arteta he upset the Porto manager, so I don't know what he's going to do to Southgate when he gets hold of it.
You wonder if they'll let him back in the Arsenal ground. I mean, they will.
The thing would
be nice if they.
The thing with the England situation, I just think, obviously something did happen in Qatar. There ain't been any other fullback that's been better, especially this season. But I know what Ian was saying about the booing. I think Ben White might rile in that. I think because he don't care, does he?
No, but he doesn't. His interviews are amazing. It's just.
So yeah, I just think it'll push him even more, just to prove a point. We all know, hopefully Southgate's gone in at the end of this summer, but I was kind of, the Arsenal fan in me was good, well done, Edu.
I mean, don't get me wrong. As an Englishman, I'm quite disappointed that he's not playing for England, because he should be. But then, Mark, if you put your Arsenal goggles on, it's great news, because he just gets more rest.
Absolutely. If I had my way, every single one of our players would be in Ben White's boat at the moment, and none of them going on international duty next week. But that's obviously not going to happen. But yeah, as has already been touched on, it's incredibly irresponsible from Southgate, would be the word I would use, to throw a player under the bus like that. Basically, Ben White hasn't been picked for England since that World Cup. So are you saying that call from Edu was what convinced him not to pick him? If he was going to be picking him, it's not as if his form has gone through the roof in the last 4 weeks. He's been brilliant since August, brilliant since the World Cup. So all Southgate had to say was the truth, which is, I don't fancy him as a player, which clearly he doesn't, because if he did, he would have picked him since Qatar. So either something happened in Qatar between White and the coaches that has made Ben White persona non grata with the England coaching staff, and that's fine. If that's the truth, then just be honest about it. Just say, look, we had a falling out. Don't be going, I got a call off the Arsenal director of football last week telling me he doesn't want to be picked. That's not the way you do business.
I mean, it's been a year and was it?
Yeah.
December 2022, wasn't it? So it's a year and 3 months, and he hasn't played him at all. So it's very strange how he's just come out of it and today. I don't know if he knew, because obviously, he is stupid and he's not. He knows how good Ben White is, and he's seen us quite a few times And, a lot of people have been raving about him. So he probably knew that he was probably going to get a lot of grief for having you picked him. And, well, don't talk too much about England, but the defence in the squad isn't the best. And he must have thought, I need to do something here. And maybe he might regret it. I don't know. But as George said, I think Ben White will just shrug his shoulders, smile, have another tattoo, have a sunbed and crack on.
Can I quickly just ask something? I just had a little flicker in my head. I remember watching an interview of Ben Foster, if I'm correct. He actually said Fabio Capello did the same very thing to him as well. Just simply be told him, I'll play this game, play this friendly game, I'll play in the main tournament. And next thing you know, Ben Foster isn't picked at all. And he was literally in this sort of height of his peak. And Fabio Capello just didn't care. I was like, it feel for me is Benny Blank, was they calling on Twitter or X. He's getting the same treatment, which is so sad. He's having a wonderful season. Well, even better than ever before. And he gets treated like shit. Excuse me.
No, you let it all out, Ben. So we're all here for you.
I know, but I'm even shocked to hear this. It's shocking. Terrible.
It is, yes. And also, it's a funny time I don't know who's to blame. Really, obviously, Arsenal announcing a contract, all good news and great news for his family, And then Southgate comes out and pisses on his parade, really.
Yeah. And it was a real low blow, as Mark touched on, for him to come out and kind of really stick the knife in by saying, I really like Ben White as a player and he was in my thoughts and my plans. It was absolute horseshit. It's just not true. And now that just makes Southgate look like it gives him the excuse that. So if anybody ever says, why don't you ever pick Ben White? He'll say, I always liked him, but he didn't want to play. And that's nonsense because he hadn't played in so long. But just to finish on Ben White, as Georgie rightly said, Ben White's going to love this, and he will I think, prosper and will kind of go up against the away fans when that inevitable booing and so on comes along.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, most of these people are going to boo him, likes of Liverpool, Man City, etc. No, they don't give a shit about international football.
No,
they absolutely don't care.
Liverpool fans boo their own national anthem, for goodness sake.
Exactly.
So they haven't got a leg to stand on.
You'd think Ben White would be a hero of theirs if that was,
True, yeah.
You would think so.
But apparently not.
No, going back to his performance against Saturday night, it's just another example this season, Ian, of where, if we're not doing so well, another player just sticks his hand up and goes, you know what, I'll sort this out and get us going. And, unsung hero, if you will, got 2 great assists, 2 brilliant balls in the box, 2 goals.
Yeah, he was the man of the match on Saturday, and what was interesting about the 2 crosses where that the winner, the second goal, he was out wide, but Ben White's doing this little bit of an inversion thing like Zinchenko used to do. So when you look at where he crossed in the ball for the first goal, he was infield, and it's just interesting to see that the 2 assists they were 2 crosses from Ben White, but they weren't kind of byline swing them in. It was two kind of different types. But yeah, he was phenomenal, and he's been brilliant. He had a little bit of a kind of a bad patch over Christmas, so I don't think he was fully fit. But since that,
he had a niggle, yeah.
Yeah, but since that, since the Dubai break, well, we could say the same about all the players, but since the Dubai break, he's been sensational. I wouldn't take any other player in his position at this moment in time.
No, definitely not. And obviously with the result on Sunday going our way, it means that we head into the cup break and international break, currently top of the table, level on points with Liverpool, but I believe it's 7+ goal difference better.
Yeah,
1 point clear of Man City and a plus 11 goal difference better than Man City. So Bez, are you getting too excited? I am. I'm trying to calm down, but it's great, isn't it? You just got to enjoy it. We're top of the league, for goodness sake.
Man, I was having one of my supervisors at work, who's an Arsenal fan as well. I told him, bro, these rivals can slaughter us, can be bitter on us, can be salty on us, me included, which I won't say some of the names right now, which I want to at some point, but I'll save it. But trust me when I say this. When was the last time as an Arsenal family, What was the last we said we're top of the league, quarterfinal Champions League, money being made left and right, on the pitch, off the pitch. But what we're doing as fan base and the club, or the family as we call it now, we're staying classy. We're not saying, oh, the Arsenal. Look, I do live in London. I do wear different shirts of Arsenal at the time, but I know where I'm rubbing it in, I wear it for myself to celebrate the goodness. the aura, you know, the vibe. That's to be an Arsenal fan that will suffer for years gone by, and yet now we get stomped upon. You know, get down there. You have to suffer. But man, we had our banter era. You know, as that certain fan base is called back in the day. You know, I witnessed it. But thankfully now, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a wonderful time. The last 2 years, being an Arsenal fan more than ever before.
And that's the thing, isn't it, Mark? Everyone's just got a big smile on their face at the moment, and it's just long may it continue.
Of course,
That's
of course.
it.
That's
Whenever I
what
get
we
asked a
want. That's what we
question,
want.
sorry, Bess, go ahead. Yeah. Well, whenever I get asked a question, oh, you're top now, but are you going to stay there? I'm like, I don't know. They're going to make sure I enjoy it while we are, because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of it all? You know, if
Exactly.
you
It's
only
not-
wait till May to celebrate the good times, then only one club enjoys the season every year. That's no. Football's far
as well, though. I want
it's
the
about enjoying the moments as we go.
Yeah.
Come on, Bez.
I was just saying, I want the Ian's soccer song to be played now, loop in my head now, going next couple of months.
There was quite a few comments saying how much they loved it, Ian. I mean, a lot of people saying you should go in Britain's Got Talent 2025. Christmas #1, someone said.
It would be amazing to get the stadium singing. I don't know what happened with his other song, but you never know. We need to get the family, the Arsenal family, getting it out there.
That's it. We'll get Jones on it. He's got that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Christmas #1. Anything's better than that lad baby. So all for it. Right. So after Saturday night shenanigans, we moved on to Tuesday night. Champions League, last 16, 1-0 down from the first leg. We had to score. And we did score. Leonardo Trossard with a very beautiful finish, to be honest. From an absolutely marvellous, magical, sexual assist from the main man himself, Martin Odegaard. I mean, I think you all know I'm deeply in love with him by now. George, he's just Captain Marvel at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say it kind of rolls into this point, but I remember the time when a lot of people were laughing at Arteta when he said he wanted 4 or 5 captains, like the captain group. And when you were saying about players standing up and putting their hand up, I think we're seeing the rewards for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Martin Odegaard leads by line. Like everyone looks at him and think, oh, he's not one of those shouty captains, is he? But he does his talking on the pitch. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm going overboard, but that assist from me was Bergkamp-esque.
Oh, superb. Superb.
And I remember having a chat with Liam a while ago, and we were saying like what Liam was saying what he likes about Odegaard is his ceiling is so high, like, and we were saying that I was saying I think he's the closest we've had to Bergkamp, and it, like, I think me and Mark were saying it, people forget how young these players are as well. Like, not that old. What is he, 23?
24, I think. Yeah.
Might not even that. Like, I'm saying that as a 30-year-old, like that's really old. So,
say how old I am, then.
21, isn't he? That's,
Yes.
Yeah,
Moving
like that.
swiftly on from our ages.
Yeah. 21-year-old over there. Go on, Mark.
yeah, we've heard of that. For me, like everyone bangs on about transfers. Surely that's got to be the signing of, well, I'm going to say the summer, but when we bought him for, like, was it 30 million?
£30 million. It's just absolutely obscene, really. We have completely pulled down Real Madrid's pants. And
It reminds me of when, you know, when Wenger back in the day bought like an Omri or Vieira or them sort of players for that price. You don't really see that happen. I can't think of another player for another club that's happened, really. But yeah, I could wax lyrical about Martin Odegaard for the whole show if you wanted me to.
There's a society, so you feel free to let it all out. He just doesn't stop running, does he, Ian? It's just leads from the front. Just runs around, geeing everyone up, and he's just.
Yeah, I tweeted when he did that, he made the assist for Trossard. I tweeted that I can't remember what I said at the start, but I just said he is our everything, and like he presses from the front. He leads by example. He's not your typical shouty captain. even though he does be kind of at the boys to get into position and so on, but he does, he gets everybody going. And exactly as Georgie said, there was a moment in the Brentford game, not to go back to the Brentford game, but where he took the ball and he took a touch and turned, and my very first thought was Dennis Bergkamp. I was like, oh my God. And what's really, really impressive, and again, as Georgie touched on, is his age. Like, he's got so many years ahead of him. Like, we still have his peak years ahead of him. And yeah, he's just from start to finish, he is our everything. I love him so much.
That's not another song, is it?
I have to,
remix.
No, I think his songs sound good.
I thought you turned into Barry White from Ireland then.
Barry White.
Barry White. Yeah.
Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.
We've got the pub for the karaoke, mate. So you requested.
No. Although I did see, just very quickly, I saw a tweet. It was actually, I went back and looked at I think Sparksy retweeted when we signed the tweet from Arsenal when we first signed him, and he said, go look at the comments. And I did, because it was basically people giving out why we didn't sign Maddison, why we didn't sign all sorts of
stuff. Was lynched.
Yeah. But there was one woman who had written a Martin Odegaard chant, and it was to the tune of the Hokey Cokey. It was just awful. It was like, instead of Okie Cokey, the Hokey Cokey was Odie Cokey or something like that. I was like, no.
Yeah, that's nearly as bad as when Bayern Munich danced to the can when they score.
Oh God, yeah. But Martin Odegaard, what a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously 1-0 at half time, Mark. You know, everyone's pretty confident that we hopefully go and score one or two more. But obviously Porto, you know, they were a tough nut to crack. I mean, you can question their tactics. I mean, I think the manager set them up very well. I think they surprised a few people, because I don't think people expect them to be like that. They had a few half chances, but they weren't really doing too much. But we just found it very hard to break down. Saka was getting frustrated. I thought we missed Martinelli's pace a lot. I mean, were you worried, Mark, second half? Or are you still confident?
Worried? No, I wouldn't say worried, but it's one of those, you know, when we'd no wiggle room. Like, it was, especially when you got to kind of 80, 85 minutes, still only 1-0. As you said, they had a few half chances. Not that they were overly trying to create or attack, but all it takes then is one goal, and it's like, okay, we're out. Having really dominated, but without creating anything. It was very similar to the first leg, kind of, other than that Trossard goal. We didn't overly create or overly dominate at any stage, but again, neither did they. It was a very bitty kind of game where not a hell of a lot happened. Then it's at the extra time, nothing really happened at all in either box. It was kind of, both teams kind of looked very, very anxious nearly in the extra time, that they're like, okay, just please God, don't let us concede one here. And if it goes to penalty, so be it. But both teams kind of, neither of them really pushed on in the extra time to go and win it.
Ian, you set off a thing here.
I started a chant making thing.
Why not? Thank you, everybody, for all your comments. It's very much appreciated. If you want to send in anything of you singing, you crack on. But it was very, very cagey, wasn't it, Bez? I mean, when I went this extra time, I mean, I don't know about anyone else. Obviously, if you were watching it at home, I was just pacing around the living room, and I just wanted to go up on a ball and die, really. It was just horrible, not enjoyable at all. And you knew it was going to go to penalties. I mean, neither team went for an extra time. Everyone looked absolutely shattered. So, you know, you just had to cross your fingers and hope for the best.
I guess, yeah. The thing is, what impressed me the most, okay, yes, we went extra time, but the way we went straight to the goalkeeper coach, and he literally just said, right, come here, quickly, you know what to do, you know what to say. I was like, this is amazing to see, you know, in this modern day technology, how the fact Ray was so ready for it. He was so mentally ready for it. But at the same time, what amazed me is everyone was up for it. But thankfully, look, I'm going to praise Odegaard too. From the moment he decided to have the toss, where he's not kicked the ball, he was the first one to take the penalty shootout. He's like literally written in the stars the way he controlled that pacing of the penalty shootout. For me, personally, I would have given him man all match. But then again, right, okay, he had a fabulous shootout. The way he even said himself could have had 3. You know, I watched the CBS thing last night as well because I couldn't watch him Tuesday. I was like, amazing how both controlled that from the back, from the middle, a bit, shall we say, a bit to the front because obviously we attacked when we attacked. Sadly, the second goal, which we would have had, was a goal. I'm sorry, very soft decision on Pepe, the defender one.
Jonesy has just said that he thought it was a joke. I mean, it was a very harsh decision. Yeah. And if you think later on in the game, I think Pepe had his hand on someone and they didn't. What did you all think of the referee, by the way? I mean, obviously in England we had TNT Sports. Ali McCoy was the co-commentator. I don't know if that's the same in Ireland, but he was loving off the ref. Oh, it's so great. I was letting everything go. I was doing brilliantly. Oh, he was getting on my bloody nerves. It's just like, don't feel free to get a card out and stop them because they knew what they were doing. They couldn't believe their luck. Matter cynical little fouls they were doing. And I thought that was quite harsh, that second. I thought he made a meal out of it, which is what Pepe does. I mean,
I thought the referee was very strange. You know when a referee is refereeing a game and like after 20 minutes, an incident will happen and instinctively you'll know what the referee is going to do because he's refereed the game in a particular way up to that point. But this referee, like, you couldn't predict him at all. Like he was like the same things were happening, but he was given different decisions and he was very, very hard to predict. I thought he was poor, but for both sides. Now I'm going to be controversial and I'm going to say, I think the goal should have been disallowed. I think he pulls him clearly by the shirt, and it's one of those you have to say that if that happened in the other end, you'd be going crazy. We'd all be sharing screenshots of the back of the jersey being pulled. For me anyway, it was a foul, and it was correctly disallowed. I wasn't happy about it at the time, but when I saw the replay, because when it happened live, I was like, "What's this? Why is he disallowing it?" But then you see what happens. That's just my opinion on it. But the referee. When I say the referee, I mean Leo Trossard's brother. He was.
He didn't get any favors off his brother at all.
No, he didn't.
They must have had on.
They must have had a tough upbringing, the two of them. But it was very strange. Yeah.
Going to the penalties themselves, then, as Bez has already said, Odegaard won the toss and obviously chose to pick the North Bank to go in front of. And I mean, not with my arse has just dropped by then. I'm not going to lie. I hate penalties. No one really enjoys them. If it's not your team or your country playing, it's the best thing going. I mean, we all remember the World Cup final, the pens. Great, let's all enjoy it. But when it's your own team, and you'll know as well, if we went out, it would have been a frenzy. Everyone giving it their gob, and Arsenal, the wheels are falling off. Blah 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 blah. And you just think, please, everyone's expecting us to go through. And so Odegaard takes the first one. Beautiful penalty. I mean, not being funny, all of our penalties were absolutely superb. I mean, every single one was top notch. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I have to say, you always worry that the keeper might make a save, but our goalkeeper didn't he, George? Came out of 2 superb saves.
Yeah, Imre, I trust, mate. You know what I mean? Like I like handing out receipts about players that I've been right.
I see you've been chirping all week.
No refund, George. Carry on.
Mate, I've got so many appreciation societies. I've got a Kai Havertz one. I've got a Rail. I was surprised with our penalties because Diogo Costa, their goalkeeper, not the ex-Chelsea one. He's really, really
amazing if he was in goal.
Yeah, has a reputation. Yeah,
he's one of the best in Europe for penalties.
Was he?
Yeah, and
I'm glad I didn't know that. To be fair, I was nervous enough.
He saved like 8 or 9 in his whole career at Porto, like over a 10-year. So, I'm not going to lie. When Havertz stepped up, I was worried just because I thought, we know what's coming.
No, he's German. They don't miss.
Exactly, Brooksy. First,
I was
if you've
more
a
worried about
German in
Sa- I
your
was
squad,
more
they're
worried
the
about
first
Saka,
ones you
to be
send
fair.
up to take a penalty.
I was
Yeah,
worried about Saka,
or-
bless him, and then I was
I think
worried about. Well, I was
this is-
worried about them all. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
I wasn't worried about Rice. I will. This is a bit of a funny one. Mark will appreciate this. What worried me the most was that Nketiah was going to win the penalty shootout.
I wouldn't have cared. More worried that he was going to miss.
Just because I was talking to Shane in the pub about it, and I was like, I can't be having him telling my Eddie Nketiah auntie story. And then and it was like the stars were aligned. I said to Jonesy, I went, no, come on, Raya. And do you know what I really like as well is Raya when he said, "Oh, he should have saved that third one." Like,
Really did.
yeah. Bit like that, but is that what we were saying? Like I like both the goalkeepers we had, but I think Raya does what Ramsdale does, but not as elaborate. I've always said Ramsdale does TV saves, and that's not saying he's a bad goalkeeper, but I just think Raya does what he's there to do, and I think he's just a little bit better. But we're blessed to have two good goalkeepers. So
I think this is the first time Raya said he's proper like.
Yeah.
Like,
Flowers, if
we
you
can
like.
talk about Ramsdale saves about Liverpool, that Madison free kick at Leicester. He's made some absolute world class saves.
Yeah.
And you think of those. This is Raya's proper first, isn't it, Ian? Moment. You know, two world class saves. One at a penalty shootout, which is the best thing a goalkeeper can do at home. That whole career, and everyone loves him now. You know, he's got the whole fan base completely behind him now.
He Tuesday night. Yeah, last night. No, Tuesday night. God, forget what day it is. He became 100% officially became part of the family. He's felt awkward, I'd say, because he knows, and we all know how well loved Aaron Ramsdale was. Nobody on the face of it at the start wanted David Raya. We all loved that Ramsdale. Everything was fine. So when he came in, like, he probably felt awkward around the players because the players loved Ramsdale. But on Tuesday night he became part of our family, and long may it continue. Did you guys hear? I listened on TNT or watched on TNT that Ali McCoist just before the penalty shootout started asking about the chance of Arsenal subbing David Raya and Ramsdale. Like, what? Make that make sense. That's what, like, Ramsdale is a great shot stopper, but he couldn't save a penalty for peanuts. And here's like a professional commentator
the one that
that Arsenal should sub on Aaron Ramsdale. I just thought that was bizarre. But yeah, David Raya, he's got all our love now.
the one that made me laugh with McCoist was I was at the game with Jonesy, so I didn't hear it. But going back, he went, "Oh, I've never ever seen Ray or Ramsdale in a penalty shootout."
I love Ali McCoy.
Sorry, she was only in 6 months ago.
Yeah, and I agree. I think out of all the commentators out there, I actually like McCoist, but he just comes out with some whoppers, as you say, Brooksy.
Just gets a bit excited every now and then. And I have to say, I see an amazing stat the other day. We have taken 17 penalties this season, including shootouts, and scored every single one.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It's brilliant, and
I was quite confident when it went to penalties. In fairness,
well, you are, wasn't I?
It's going through, like, Saka scored all his penalties this season. Odegaard scored all his. Havertz scored one at Bournemouth. And I said, we've scored every penalty we've taken this season. We had a lot of players on the pitch who had taken penalties this season. So I was relatively confident that we were going to get through this. So I wasn't overly worried when it went to penalties. I'm not speaking with hindsight. I genuinely was confident when it went to penalties.
So if we had a penalty shootout competitively at the Emirates before?
Yeah, we did last year, didn't we?
Last season, yeah.
I tried to.
That's what I was worried about.
we forget the ones we lose.
Stick out your system. Yeah.
Brooksy, I see the comment there. I think it's time you sang the Waka Waka tune. Come on.
Waka Waka, hey, hey, 60 million down the drain. I have it again. Come on.
Apparently,
I do it naked.
There's a video of me singing that Smashed Out My Head with Will from Tuesday, and I don't even remember it. I've got the video.
Go on.
send
let's
it.
face it, if we do happen to win the league or Champions League or even both, why not? I mean, the videos and pictures of all of us and me especially are just going to be dotted all over the internet. It's just going to be absolute carnage.
Mate,
Let's be honest.
yeah, see for a month.
We're all going to need some liver transplants, I think.
Oh, mate, it's just going to be.
If it happens, I mean. Obviously.
Carnage.
Well, no, exactly.
But anyway, let's not get
It's good
too
to
far
dream.
ahead of
It's good to
ourselves.
dream. No, it's always good to dream and have high hopes. And obviously, going forward then to it's tomorrow, Friday tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, yeah.
Your Champions League draw, which is normally around 11 o'clock. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably
It's normally
do.
around,
That's
They
the
probably do
advertised
tours
time.
of,
they'll fanny around for half hour, yeah. But
They do. They like the sound of their own voice over there in UEFA. So
well,
And
they say it starts at 11, but you'll be lucky if the first ball is drawn out by midday. So,
so obviously
but yeah,
going for the teams that we can get, obviously Manchester City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, 3 from Spain, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund. Is that it? Have I missed anybody?
Yeah, I think are you not missing Liverpool and Man United there, Brooksy? And Chelsea.
Oh, and Chelsea, yeah.
Where?
Spurs? No, they're not in.
No. Then that must be it.
Oh, yeah, go on. So obviously, you can never guess. I mean, I have this theory. Obviously, it being the final, being at Wembley, they say don't fix it, but I'll be surprised if they the final in England. But obviously, that's just my opinion. Not anywhere suggesting that UEFA's corrupt or bent or anything. Absolutely not. But obviously, in the dream world, Bez, who would you like? I mean, personally, for me, Borussia Dortmund would be the one I would want. But yeah, I worry it could be horrible tomorrow.
I'll say anyone at this present moment, not Man City, because we're both fighting from both sides of the the channel as you call it. So definitely not City right now. As for sweet revenge, I'll definitely want Bayern Munich personally from that 2015, 2016. Correct. It's just for the vendetta.
We owe them a many, but it's just that little rat coming back. It just that worries me. That's Atletico Madrid. I don't want. I mean, it sounds silly because I get what you give them, but I was disappointed that Milan lost to them last night because they're another, let's face it, a shit house team, and they, and Simeone would love that to come over to England and prove himself. That'll be tough. I mean, whoever we get in, it's going to be difficult. And for goodness' sake, it's a Champions League quarterfinals. We're there, so we've got to enjoy it. But we just want to go through.
Yeah, and just to balance any Harry Kane fear, I'm going to say 2 words: Eric Dyer will be fine again.
We'll be fine.
So, who would I like? I echo what everybody's saying, in that I wouldn't like Man City next. I think if we are to win the Champions League, I'm not saying we will, but if we're going to win it, we're probably going to have to beat Man City at some point, unless they come up against Madrid and get knocked out. But I think at some point we'll have to play that game or that tie against Man City. But I agree that at this point in time, it wouldn't be ideal with what's going on in the league. Who would I like? I'd probably Dortmund. My absolute gut feeling is that we're going to draw Real Madrid. I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind Dortmund, and I would not mind. Do you know who I wouldn't mind playing? And I might. Yeah, PSG, exactly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Newcastle battered them at home. I mean,
yeah, I think we'd have the beatings of those famous last words. But yeah, PSG or Dortmund.
Yeah. So when we play Man City, Jules, what do you think?
I hope it's not the next round, but it will not be in the final. You have been sitting on the fence. I'm not sitting on the fence about you. I wouldn't mind Bayern Munich because I don't know if people have seen it. They've got no away fans.
I see something. Why is that? What have they done?
They threw a firework on the pitch against Lazio.
It does make me laugh. You can't take a bottle of drink. You have to take the bottle cap off, but you can smuggle a firework down your pants. It's incredible.
Is that a fireworks down your pants?
What's that going? Imagine that going.
Is that yeah. So, if you're saying ultimately who I want to get revenge against, mate, the blind man's looking right at you, Barcelona.
Oh yeah, they're in it.
Yeah.
Oh mate, but I'd take Dortmund. Like I say, any of the teams are going to be hard. I don't want Atletico be nice to be able to play a team that actually play football.
That's the problem.
They're a bit similar to Porto. So Porto. They didn't have to play football the other day. They could just they come for penalties. So ultimately I think we're probably going to get someone like a Bayern Munich or Barcelona. But the only team I don't want is City or Atletico.
Do they still do that thing? That's a long time since we've been in it. When they do the draw for the quarterfinals, do they do the draw for the semi-finals as well? Was that?
Yeah.
They still do that?
Yeah.
So apparently,
Okay.
there's they're doing it a different way tomorrow as well, like the way they actually do the draw, like some technology thing.
Oh God, what could go wrong, eh?
Yeah.
Apparently, that's one of the people. I'm not being conspiracy, but I'll just put it out there. One of the people that helped to design this technology has also helped to design the technology at Meadow Park in Bournemouth, and the scoreboard don't work there. So,
So we have nothing to worry about.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
Real Madrid, then City.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. Imagine that they'll beat them both in the final.
You have to beat them all. So,
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, it's just great to be in it. We're in the hat, and all we wanted, and like I said, we'll find out by lunchtime tomorrow. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we can't beat them over 2 because we might prove that in a couple of weeks, but we've got more of a chance to beat them in a one-off. That's what I think, really, with City.
Yeah, completely agree.
Real Madrid, I know they're a good side and they've only lost a couple of games, but they're not as strong as they was last season, and that sounds. But the Spanish league ain't as strong as it was. Like, they've got Bellingham. Like, if we're worried about Real Madrid,
Bellingham and Vinicius and the rest of them. Yeah.
But if we're worried about Real Madrid now, wait till they have Mbappe and probably Alphonso Davies next season.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
They're not exactly going to get worse.
No, that's it. I would take Barcelona quite happily, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know,
They're
used
to be. They're not who they used to be.
No, they haven't got well. They've got a lot of good young players coming through, but again, it's a good time to play them.
Yeah.
You know, a few years they could be a different monster or something. You know, because Lamina and Gabriel, they're like 17, 18. You think if they progress like Saka has and Bellingham, they could be monsters. And
I just think Gabriel would be able to deal with Lewandowski. Like, I'm not saying Lewandowski he's not the player he was, but I just if we do knock Barcelona, I just want Arteta to do like the famous celebration right in front of the Barca fans.
What did you make of the shenanigans at full time against Porto with Conceição and his crew?
Good. I like what Havertz done to him as well during the game. It was a bit naughty, but he's what Havertz doing it. He loves it. He did it at Newcastle. He likes getting stuck in. To be fair, he didn't really do anything wrong. Conceição was in the way. And but have you seen the pictures after the first game? It was in the dressing room, and he's with his cigar out, and he's giving it all, you know. Obviously, I don't think he had any cigars after the game the other night. But yeah, you know, it's classic. You give it out, you've got to take it, and they've always been bad losers. But you know, no one wants to lose on penalties. It's unfortunate, but yeah, you know, he didn't like it, did he?
I think it's much ado about nothing, because if you look at his demeanour throughout the game, even right before the penalty shootout, he looked very relaxed, very calm, and then all this blows up after the game. So unless something Arteta is alleged to say something to him after the penalty shootout, unless it happened then, if it happened during the game, I don't believe he would have. If it's the bigger deal he's making, there's no way he would have been that composed and that, I suppose, focused. If it happened during the game, I don't think he would have been able to hold his composure like he did if it's as serious as what he's making out. So I don't think there's anything in it.
And you can,
it's just sour grapes.
Yeah, and you can actually see the moment at full time where kind of Arteta has his arm around him and they're chatting. You can see Conceição, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. You can see him kind of pointing at Arteta saying, "You said this to me," and Arteta had genuine confusion on his face. There was a genuine reaction of, "What are you talking about?" Like there's like whatever, there might be maybe things lost in translation and whatnot, but I don't believe for a second that if Arteta did say something to him that it was as serious as something like that. Plus he has previous with Tuchel and Guardiola. He just comes across like a really sore loser. When you read back all his comments in the other games that he got knocked out in, it's obvious that he's just a hot-headed sore loser.
To be fair,
it's all deflection.
So like when Porto played Benfica a couple of seasons ago, he done a celebration in front of Benfica, and like there was about 70 arrests and players got beat up. So anyway, like he's not.
Oh right.
You know what I mean? So he's not innocent.
No,
he's a delight, isn't he?
I mean, he actually looks like when you look at the video of him with the cigar after the first leg dancing, if you told me that he was a drug lord, I'd say yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, he
or maybe long lost son or something.
Yeah.
Well, Liam should be on catchphrase. So what you see, oh son. Oh, and one last thing before we do wrap up. Yeah. The only bad thing about Saturday night was what? Anyone have a little guess? A little game of rugby, England beating Ireland.
What's rare is wonderful, lads.
I couldn't believe it. I wasn't expecting that. I thought we were going to get fammed like everyone else.
It's
a funny old game, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
They'll be like Arteta. If I speak, I'll be suspended.
Won't be welcome back.
Before we go, lads, can I ask one question? Right, so am I
yes, we will repost that song. Don't worry about
it. I'll buy all the copies.
Please, that's it. Right, am I right in saying that at the moment we have 64 points, us and Liverpool?
Yeah.
And City are 63, right? 10 games left each, 30 points available each. How many points wins the Premier League? Brooksy.
What you got for me first? Well, we're going to win all the games, so we're going to have 93 points. We're going to win the league. I can't say anything else. I mean, well, that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but well, we're going to need to be more or less perfect because we all know Man City aren't going to drop many points. Liverpool, well, to be fair, their injuries, they're still up there. And I mean, you look at it on paper, we've probably got the hardest run in, sadly. Liverpool got probably the easiest. I mean, they say there's no easy games, but we all know that's not entirely true. So I would say, well, we can't. Well, we have to. We can't really. Yeah, it's ridiculous the high level bar that Man City have set because you can't afford to drop the points. So I'll say we need at least 90. I would say.
Do you think 90 would win it? You think 90 would be enough to win?
I think so. I mean, obviously, I think if we beat Man City. Obviously, they're then, yeah. I think it's just, yeah. I can't see many of us stopping points. I can't. I mean, Liverpool, Man City haven't got to play each other now. Liverpool, I know they've got Man United and Everton, and I think Spurs. But the rest of the other games they should win. Man City's, yeah. I think it's as high as it needs to be. I think.
Georgie, what do you think?
I think maximum is 90, but. I do think just to be that cheesy Arsenal fan, I think 89 points could win it.
Oh, go on.
Just Liverpool. I hate to say it, but Tottenham could actually get a result at Liverpool or City.
We're going to need them to. I don't care. Let's let them win.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, if it wins us the league, mate. Yeah.
They won't get
exactly.
Know that, but and. I think people are forgetting as well the battle for that top 4th and 5th. So Villa, I know they got battered last week, but they're going to bounce back. And after we play City, they've got City.
Spurs have got to play all three of us.
Yeah, so that's the closest they'll get to a title race, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget they finished third in their tour race once.
How many points do you think wins the league?
It'll be hard. Like I'm just game by game the way I'm looking at it because like Liverpool had to wait to the 128th minute to score against Nottingham Forest just to win. I thought he was. I thought the referee was doing what I was trying to do, like when I'm trying to get ready to football and try and find my charger. Like, but yeah. I said at the start of the season that 89 points would win it, so I'm sticking with that.
So 89, 90. What do you think, Bez?
I'm licking my lips because I'm don't know what I'm torn between what Jude is saying. I want to say 85, but I'm torn between 88 as well. For me, 88.
88. Oh, very interesting. It's getting lower. Mark?
67.
So maximum we can get maximum we get is 9. I think we can probably afford. Liam's just said it in the group, and they agree with him. We're in the chat there. We can afford probably dropping 3 points, so 91.
Do you think 91 will win it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ian?
I'd be very similar. I think maximum 3 points we could drop. I'd say, yeah, I reckon 91, 92 is probably going to win it. I reckon. So like we've gone around the house. We've got 92.
Where you drop those points as well.
Yeah, and that's very true. Yeah, it depends if we beat.
Like if
City
we draw with City, it might give us wiggle room to drop points somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
we've got 92, 91, 89, and 88.
I would love to win it.
And 90. Yeah, but it's going to be very, very interesting. It's
squeaky bum time.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart.
Absolutely not.
United.
I felt I was going to have a heart attack the other night, so God knows what it's going to be like at the end of the season. But you've got to beat it or win it, boys.
I would love to win it at United, though.
Oh, it'd be nice. Yeah, I remember the last time. It would be like, I'd just be happy to win it anyway. I can care less. Win it, pack up. Couldn't care less. Just give me that title.
Just because I've got a few mates at United and they're quite salty at the minute, so.
Yeah, for good reason. It's shit. Oh, sorry. Bez is had enough. He must. Maybe he's going to see some more of you singing. He's going to watch some of your videos of you singing.
I've got this ready because I'll turn it upside down.
Go on.
It's the 0-2 one, but the sadly is falling apart. It's so sad to see it go falling apart now.
Yeah, play. You had that all that time.
Well, I bought it. I've not had it all that time, buddy. Come on.
I wouldn't fit into my one now.
Is this a Will Tord?
Yeah.
Yes. That's a beautiful kit.
Sadly, it's falling apart down there.
Gold.
So sad to see it fall apart, you know.
It's a very nice kit.
I know.
They do redoing that.
Redoing 1-0 up, so our game against Villa could be moved to the Sunday. So.
Okay.
So
they're playing Ajax now.
Yeah, they are 1-0 up on Ajax. So if they win our game, which is currently on Saturday the 13th of April, could get moved to Sunday the 14th. So.
Oh, that would actually work out very well because my dad's 80th birthday that day, so that would be lovely.
That works out better because I land from Spain in the evening of Saturday the 13th. So
come on, Charles.
I'm not going to see Gunner. Don't worry. Right.
No.
So
make sure you don't.
No.
If we win the league, are you bringing out now? That's what I call Ian.
Arsenal chance from the 2023-2024 season. Yes, I will release that. No problem.
I'll send the tape to the DJ at the Coronet.
She loves it, by the way. Right, well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for your lovely comments and everyone that subscribed and watched it. Take your time out. We very much appreciate it. George, been an absolute sensation. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me on. Always good.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Mark, thank you very much. Always great to see you.
Thank you, Brooksy. Great job again.
Thank you very much, sweetheart. Bez, absolute joy to have you on, mate. Get you on again. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, pal. It was very nice catching up with you all.
And Ian, it's just been the best listening to you sing, to be honest.
Well, what can I say? I've made my singing debut on the show, so it's all different.
We're singing all the way to the title. Thank you very much, everyone, and good night.
Good night.
Have a good one.